What's happening, everybody? Of course, it's your host, Brink Young, coming straight out of them South Memphis slums, and you are tuning in to the most award-winning independent talk show in the whole South. Talk about none other than BrinkTV. Now, they're not just your TV set, because we got a familiar face kicking it with us on the icy white couch tonight, but it's a few different titles that I got to add to it. You know, I can't just say, writer or director. I got to add filmmaker to that, of course. I got to add PhD to that, of course. So should I say Dr. Anwar Jamison? How you doing, brother?
Man, pretty good. I'm glad to be back. So I like the sound of that.
Absolutely, man. So, of course, we got to get into it because I did mention familiar face on the show. You actually were on the show previously. I believe that was probably like 6-7 years ago. We were talking about your brand new documentary, A Bitter Pill to Swallow. Kind of catch us up, like what's been going on with you since, because like I say, you are a multi-filmmaker now, man. Successful, award-winning filmmaker. Come on, let's talk about it.
Man, time flies. Yeah, that's been a while. So since then, coming to Africa was the next thing. Going to Ghana to shoot a film, going to Africa to shoot a film. Surreal. Yeah. It's a wonderful experience doing that twice now, going back to shoot the sequel, but being embraced over there, so much love, and just really dispelling so many stereotypes and myths about what people think about them, about what they think about our connection to them, all that stuff about, that's not our blood, that's not our DNA, we not from there. The people who saying that, stop it. Yeah. Stop it. We can have a conversation later about that.
Absolutely.
So that's mainly what I've been on. Like you say, got that PhD, put the doctor in front of my name. Always been a scholar and an educator, man. I always just love learning. Always been that person who's always been that way. And I didn't necessarily set out or think I would get a PhD one day and put the doctor in front of my name, but you look up and it's like, okay, I want to get that degree too, that degree. I just never stopped learning. So that's the cool thing. So I'm educating this next generation also at the University of Memphis. Go Tigers, go.
I know that's right.
Training up this next generation of filmmakers.
Absolutely, man. So I got to say, first and foremost, thank you for coming back on the show. A lot of people, man, when they amass a certain level of success, rarely do they come back to places where they first started from or where they was making their bones at. But I appreciate you for coming back on this show. That means a lot, because I did say award-winning filmmaker now. Award-winning, man. So you did mention the film Coming to Africa. Now, I got to let you guys in on a tidbit. This is my actually first IMDb credit. Thanks to you, I was a part of the production crew. I appreciate that, man. That meant a lot to me.
Yeah, and appreciating you coming through, too. You know what I mean? You played that role valuably. That's another thing over there. We shot the beginning of it, the majority of it there, we shot there first, and I was like, when I get home, that's going to be easy. We can coast. Yeah. I had a huge crew over there. When I got back here, I put my crew together, did it how we have to do over here. The money don't stretch as long, with that exchange rate. Yeah. We could do it a little bigger over there when I got here. So I needed somebody like Brink to come through, feel that role. And, you came through. Appreciate that.
Hey, so one thing that was amazing about it, man, and of course we're going to talk about the backstory on the film, but one thing that was amazing, I actually got the opportunity to read lines with actor Khalil Kain. That meant the world to me, and not to make it about me, but I'm finally able to tell this man, thank you on camera. Thank you.
Man, you welcome. Appreciate it. And that's the big bro right there. Shout out Khalil Kain. As you saw, super humble dude. He going to come in and just be like everybody else, but he going to have that little OG wisdom. Right. When he chime in, he'll chime in right when it's necessary. Other than that, he's just going to be in the cut. He ain't trying to play the star and do all the extras. Yeah, that's the big bro right there.
No doubt. So, of course, let's go ahead and get into the film. Now, originally, the stars of the movie, you actually weren't supposed to be one of the stars. Let's get into the background of that, because it was an interesting story that you said. I believe it was at the actual screening here in Memphis that you actually told the backstory on what happened.
Yeah, so it was along with Khalil. There was another actor who, to this day, I don't never say his name on camera. Like, no need to give you that shine, because I haven't seen you since then now anyway. But yeah, and that's kind of the business of filmmaking. It's like, okay, I had a little bit of a budget. I'm stepping up my first time kind of elevating in the game. And like a lot of times people tell you want to try to get at least 2 names, or if you, so I was determined, you know, to have 2 names. You know, that's one thing about black people with our movies. You know, we hang on to the people that we familiar with, who were in some of the classic movies and TV shows. You know, they always with us. You know, we rock with them. So this was a guy, you know, who I thought, you know what I mean, would be that type of person who could bring a type of appeal to it, you know, recognizable face to us. He was supposed to play the lead, and days before he was supposed to get on that plane to come to Ghana, he did not get on the plane.
Wow.
We sitting there Saturday. We supposed to start shooting Monday. He giving me all kind of excuses. Oh, I can't, this and that. They won't let me on the plane, but it was a money play. I'm like, I already gave you X amount. Like, I'm not a fool. Come over here. Like, you'll get, no, it's this and that. I'm like, wow, this dude really playing me, like, trying to, you know, you hustling you scamming at this point.
Basically,
you know, you scamming at this point. So, man, leave me alone. He wouldn't answer the phone, so we texting. And everybody was kind of sitting around, my crew from over there, you know, they didn't know I could act. And I always got kind of a rule to myself. Like, when something like that go wrong, I could be as hot as out, but about 5 minutes. You know, I had myself about 5 minutes and be like, okay, we got to move forward. It's like, it happened. What can we do now to make it right? And I wasn't about to let this movie fall apart. So I was like, I just got to play the role. And I never forget the look on people's face. They looking at me like, they got the little panic, like we don't believe you can act. I know they didn't think I can. I'm like, no, for real. I act. You know, my other movies, I can act. I could tell they did not believe me. And when we got on the set that first day afterwards, like, yeah, bro, you can act. You can act, you know. And then it just fell into place. And I look back now, that's God. You know, like they say, what God got for you, you know, the rest of the saying. So it's like, now I look back, I forget it was supposed to be somebody else in that movie. And other people say the same thing. Like, I couldn't picture it with somebody else or with him. And, you know, it turned out the way it was supposed to turn out.
Man, let's talk about how clutch you got to be in a whole nother continent. You've got tens of thousands of dollars on the line, whole crew. And this guy ghosts you at the last minute. You have to turn into that point guard. You have to be fierce and jump into the character, man, because prior to that, I know you say you did have acting experience, but there wasn't any like recent. But let's talk about the tenacity it took to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to pat myself on the back too much, but I have to for that. Because as a filmmaker, that's the thing. And anybody out there who want to direct or want to do this, that's the thing. There's always things on the sets you have to adapt to. It may not be that big, but I haven't been around a movie yet where everything is going right. It's going to be a shot you thought you could have got, but the location was this and that, or somebody didn't show up, the weather. It's going to be something that you have to adjust to. That just happened to be really big. And, I was just fortunate that I was able to do it. And being the writer and the director, it does give you a bit of an advantage if you can act. Because I'm so familiar with the character, with the story more than anybody else could be anyway. So that played to my advantage. And in the movie, the character is in Ghana for the first time. It was my first time. So I was able to draw on that as I'm going through those experiences. I'm really playing that for the first time, sitting in this restaurant for the first time, them bringing me the bowl of water to wash your hands at the table for the first time, eating the food with my hands, that type of food for the first time. Well, my character didn't do that, you know, but so till later, you know. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. But,
I promise it's available.
It was clutch is the word, though. I was proud of myself for that.
We got to talk about your director of photography on this, because we've been seeing him on Sisters on BET. That's incredible, man. Let's talk about it.
Mr. Ellis E. Fowler. So, man, that's my film school partner right there, man. We met first day of film school, first production class, sitting over there, and she like, get in groups, the person you work with now, that type of thing. So from the very first assignment, we linked up. And then it was a mutual respect. You know, I'm like, okay, he talented. You know, he can see what I do. We bring things to the table. So we shot our very first movie, Funeral Arrangements, together, where he was my director of photography on there also, which Indie Memphis is doing the 15th anniversary screening of this year. 15 years, man.
Wow.
Yeah. So we did that as a project, you know, met that way, and we've been locked in ever since. So he's another set of eyes. I always tell directors, you should have that kind of relationship with somebody. It's like a real relationship.
Right.
You know, that director of photography, that's your eyes on the set. You know, and when you got somebody whose eyes you can trust and you know y'all see things in a similar way, that helped me also with the acting. So it wasn't so taxing because I can trust what he's seeing behind the camera. I know he's not going to steer me wrong.
Correct.
Behind the camera.
All right, so of course I did mention award-winning film. Let's talk about the difficulties or the challenges that you face actually promoting and releasing this movie during the pandemic. Now, obviously, when we began shooting, that was, I believe, what was that, summer 2019.
Yes.
Of course, you got to go through post-production, all of that. And then the pandemic just sacked us out of nowhere. 2020. How were you able to manage, man?
It was disheartening at first. I was like, man, like, don't tell me, like, no, like, this is the project I've been waiting to release to the world. Theaters shut down, festivals closing down. I forget what festival we were scheduled to premiere at early in that year. Everything shut down. So I started doing things online, getting creative with the promotion of it, giving people sneak peeks, letting people know. Some of the festivals went virtual. I didn't trust that with this movie at that point. Now it's becoming more common, some festivals, but I didn't trust it. Like, nah, not with this movie. I don't know what's going to happen if I let it be seen virtually. So I held on. And then shout out to Miss Michelle at the Las Vegas Black Film Festival. She was the first film festival to open back up during the pandemic. We had to wear our masks. Yeah. You know, everybody was real safe about it. Everybody came through. And, we went out there, nominated for 6 awards, won 3 of them, Best Comedy, Best Romance, and Nanama McBrown, my co-star, won Best Lead Actress. And, man, we had a time. The crew went out there, and it was just it was a blessing. And then after that, we became the first major movie in Ghana to reopen their cinemas.
Wow.
Silverbird Cinemas, the very first time they opened back up during the pandemic. We got through that, too. So it was like, as much as it was, you know, heartbreaking to shut down at first, you know, coming out of it, it just made me, I think, in a lot of ways, you know, more skilled as far as marketing and, you know, a bit more flexible with having to deal with something like that.
Absolutely. So, of course, let's go ahead and talk about the distribution platforms. Now, of course, there is always that rhetoric when it comes to the consumer versus the actual film producer of when is it going to be on Tubi, you know. I'm going to say this. I was one of the people who patronized this movie on Amazon when it first dropped. Yeah. Let's talk about that, you know, and how it makes you feel when people say, I'd rather see the free version as opposed to actually patronizing and supporting the film.
Well, I understand it, you know, and we're going to talk about platforms in a minute a little bit more. But, you know, I get it, and I've learned not to take it personal. You know, you could take it personal as an artist, but when you sit back and look at it, you understand people's mindset. And I look at it like Nipsey Hussle, you know, rest in peace to Nip. I used to take a lot of inspiration from some of his moves and really like, man, he was on the cutting edge of being innovative with certain things. And he had his Proud to Pay campaign where he like, take it for free because I know a lot of y'all going to do that anyway. But if you really rock with me, you know, go ahead, buy it for $10. It's available as a regular purchase. And then he did the Crenshaw album for the $100.
Yeah.
And so you really rock with it. And, you know, you have the same album at 3 different price points, free, $10 and $100. And people were getting all of them, you know. So I understand it. And, you know, you'd rather everybody go out and buy it. But, you know, that's just not, at the end of the day, if they see it, you know, you take that, you know. But that also led me to some other innovation of my own, you know.
And of course, you actually got the shirt on. Perfect time for us to segue. We're talking about BKE TV launching. You said January 1st, right?
January 1st,
2025.
January 1st. I need you to subscribe right now. Don't wait till January 1st. I think some people getting it twisted. Like, congratulations, thinking you're gonna wait. No, we need both cameras. Subscribe right now. Don't wait.
We talking about we need 5,000 subscribers. 5,000. So let's talk about this platform because I definitely think it's innovative what you're doing. And it's actually an amazing give back on the other side of that too. But let's go ahead and talk about the platform.
Yeah, it just grew out of looking at the business model right now. Like you said, you got Tubi, Amazon, you had these people, but it really hit me. I'm just sitting around like, I have to do something different. If you look at independent filmmakers is basically like, if you compare it to independent music artists or the rappers, you know, the benefit of being independent was always, well, I don't have to be under the thumb of the major.
Correct.
I can do it myself. I don't need in the marketing, and I may make more money that way if I do it correctly as an independent artist. That was always the give and take. But for independent filmmakers, I sat back and looked at it like, really, we're functioning like independent artists would in music. We're responsible for all the finances, all the risk if the movie don't get done, all the responsibilities of all the people around you, and have to deliver a project. But on the other side, it's like a person with a major record deal when it's time to distribute it and turn it in, because we're going to major labels.
Right.
When you look at it, Amazon is one of the biggest companies in the world.
Facts.
You know, Tubi is owned by Fox.
Facts.
You know, huge. Peacock is owned by NBC, part of Universal. So at the end of the day, we independent filmmakers, but I'm like, no, when it's time to turn it in, we have to go to a major label and depend on them to get it out. But unlike the music artists who deal with a major label, they not giving us a budget on the front end. They not looking out for us at all, helping us do anything, giving us any resources. But we have to depend on them and go through the process of a major label music artist and the things they don't like turning it in and them sitting on it, and you don't know when it's going to come out. So you mean to tell me I have to be an independent filmmaker when it's time to make this movie, but when it's time for it to come out, I have to wait for you to say, oh, they a little behind.
Right.
Your movie might come out in 9 months.
Yeah.
Now it's a little slow. I'm like, yeah, what? And then you have to wait till they say you get paid. And then you have to, it's everything that people don't like about being on a major, except if you're on a major with music, they're going to drop that budget off in the beginning.
Facts.
They're going to open that budget up and give you $500,000 or $750,000 or something on the front end. We don't get that. So I'm like, no, there has to be another way. So what I came up with was BKE TV, because the way you would fight that before was physical DVDs.
Correct.
If I could see you on the street and be like, hey, take this DVD for 10, 15, 20. Now in my mind, I could be like, well, I'll just hustle harder. I'll order more DVDs. I'll get 1,000. I'll travel to more places. I'm going to get these off. But once that went away, it's like, what can we do? Like, we completely at their mercy.
Yeah.
And we have to follow that same model. So I'm like, no, there has to be another way. I kept putting my mind to it, and I said, I have to have my own streaming platform, but it also has to be everywhere else where you can get these other platforms.
Correct.
Because I did a thing on Vimeo, you know, no disrespect to Vimeo. A lot of creators, we use it for certain reasons, but I had like a free preview weekend for my last movie, The Second Coming to Africa. But a lot of people bought it that weekend. I was like, buy it before it come out or rent it. A lot of them, it wasn't compatible with their TV, or they were having issues, or they Vimeo, you know, and a lot of that is because of, you know, conflicts between companies or whatnot. So I was like, no, it has to be in a place where you can get it on Apple, Android, Roku, wherever, your smart TVs. So I found a solution to do that. So that's what we're doing. So I'm like, once I figured that out, I said, I'm going to go all the way. We're going to make this an artist-driven community. We're going to involve the people. Once you subscribe, I say BKE TV is where the consumers are also the producers, right? So we can throw stuff out there like, hey, which one of these 3 movies y'all want to see next? I got these characters. Let's have a contest. Whoever can come up with the best names, it's a cash prize. Name this character.
Yeah.
You got a business, you know, product placement. You know, we'll put that in there and really involve people, and then take the budget and give a filmmaker a chance to make their own movie, because that's the dream, man. There's a lot of talented people making short films, doing good work, just fiending for the day where they get a budget to do a feature-length movie, and it's hard to do. So I'm like, we get our goal for these subscribers. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to make sure we're going to do one in 2025, and if the platform keeps growing, it'll be more and more where we just like, okay, make your pitch. Let me see a story. Let me see a previous work. Make sure you know, going to do something good with it. Boom, take that budget, make us proud. You know what I mean? Make this movie, and we sit back and check it out.
Hey, that's an amazing give back. We talking about once they reach 5,000 subscribers. You got to reach 5,000 subscribers first. They're actually going to provide a budget for an indie filmmaker. Like you said, that's an indie filmmaker's dream. So I implore you guys to subscribe to BKE TV. It's a website, right?
Yes. You can go to bketv.com. And it's going to take you right there to the campaign. We're doing it through Indiegogo. So it's a reputable place. You see where your money going. You know, I'm not just trying to run off on it, you know, but just so people can actually see this. And then once we launch, it's on, and we just gonna go from there. And that's the difference between going to investors. You know, the film, it's the same business model.
Correct.
You come up with your money on the front end, you handle the production, and then, like I said, we go to these majors and depend on them. So I'm trying to cut the beginning and the end out of that and just be free to create over and over and over again and let other people create and give people jobs. Because every time we shoot a movie, there's more people on the set. You know, more actors, more crew. And just hopefully, you know, besides the artists that I'm able to give a platform, this will become a new business model.
Right.
So if it worked for me, hopefully another artist will say, well, I can do that too. And then you have other filmmakers popping up doing it, being successful with it.
So from a creator standpoint, you also have 4 brand new projects you popping out with. We're actually going to start production on in 2025.
Yes.
Can we speak on any of them? Or what
we can. We can. We might as well. So it's my first suspense thriller, which is what I really want to jump out with. So last year in January, held auditions. We might have started auditions in December. Had some great actors come out, man, did all of this. We cast the movie, but it was a situation where the investor, I was doing something different this time. Different executive producer who was going to put the funds up, and I didn't have to do nothing but sit back, write and direct.
Yeah.
And they ran into situations where the funding fell through for them. I'm like, I get that. But see, that's kind of what happens, you know, with the business. We kind of at that mercy. So it's already cast. It's already ready to go. We were in pre-production. So we get these 5,000 subscribers. Bro, we shooting that in January. It's already cast and ready to go. So it's a little suspense thriller, but with a twist, you know. I'm looking forward to it, man. Some of the actors we had in it, great. I obviously got to shoot Coming to Africa, Wedding in Ghana. We got to do it the 3rd time. Yeah. Close out the trilogy with a big bang. I got some real big surprises with some of the cast. You know, some people I've already spoken to and reached out to, you know, to fill out the cast. Because if you're going to have a Ghanaian wedding, the family got to be involved. So now I got some family members who are going to have to come over there and mix up the families, and you get to see what go on with that. So you know I have to do that. I got a TV show that I won't speak on. Okay. That one I won't speak on because people like to bite. You know what I mean? So an actual series, a TV show I'm excited about also. And then the 4th one will be, again, I have no idea because one of y'all out there is going to be the one to do it. That'll be the one people to pitch their ideas. Let me see your other work. You know, I look forward to seeing somebody's eyes light up like, what? The budget, like, show me your script, your budget, your idea. Let me see a preview. Okay, I think you're going to do nice with it. Take that budget, make the movie, and I'll look forward to seeing what it is. And I'll kick back and executive produce it and let somebody really, really do what they do.
Absolutely, man. I got to say thank you for providing a platform where you can kind of go direct to consumer because that's sorely needed. You know, I see so many indie filmmakers, you know, in the surrounding areas. For instance, one of my homies, he did a project. It was supposed to have been released on Amazon at a certain date. Put all kind of promotion into this date, and the date changed. And I'm not trying to throw Amazon under the bus. I understand things happen. But when we have a platform like what you're talking about, that eliminates all of that, you know, and then it's kind of like a for us by us type thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I like. Now, let me pause for the calls real quick because I did mention for us by us. Now, I ain't finna bring Jameson out or nothing like that, but I do want to shout out a Black-owned beverage company based out of New Haven, Connecticut. We're talking about Gorilla Lemonade. Of course, y'all see him in the background. I got mine right here. Dr. Anwar Jamison got his right here. Now, how did you say it tastes, man?
This is good. Great.
Yeah.
Hey, this is delicious. To the makers of Gorilla Lemonade, you got a customer right here. You know, he offered it to me when I came in. I tried it, you know. He didn't try to coax me to do nothing extra. He just offered it to me. Man, this is fire. You know, hey, when you get some good lemonade, if you like lemonade, you know what it is, and that's it.
Absolutely. So, of course, you guys can go to GorillaLemonade.com, become a patron, get you a case. You know, like I said, they're Black-owned, and I love it. I actually replaced the majority of the soft drinks that I drink because this actually has less sugar than most soft drinks, but I really replaced energy drinks like Monster, like Red Bull, all of the above. I don't even drink them no more. I'm on this. I'm on Gorilla Lemonade, and this is what you could be on too, GorillaLemonade.com. So, of course, let's go ahead and talk more about the whole PhD thing, man, because I think that's incredible because, like I say, now I could call you Dr. Anwar Jamison. And it's so funny because I got to be careful because Dr. Umar Johnson it's right there. It's right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it do got that similar ring to it, don't it? Yeah, man, it was cool because things just happened. I honestly, like I said, it wasn't something I even planned.
Yeah.
I'm just one of those lifelong learner type dudes, you know. Everybody know that from when I was young about me, you know, in the hood with everybody, doing everything we do, going to the center after school, hooping, all of this. But everybody know I'm going to have some books tucked away at home from the library or something.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I'm going to be reading or something. We're going to go to the parties on the weekend. I'm going to do everything y'all do when I go home. You know, I'm going to have some books, and I was just an avid reader, and I always was on that. So this came about, the program is actually Heritage Studies. So it was crazy because I looked at the program. I said, that'd be something interesting to do. And the institution that I was at, we was under their system. So they was like, yeah, 50% discount. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that make it a little bit of easier decision. Like, to go ahead and get that degree. But other filmmakers had been in the program before, but it was perfect for me. It was like, I'm getting ready to go to Ghana at that point. I hadn't even gone yet. So when you say heritage studies, you know, it's really the study of is interdisciplinary. I mean, you can take, we had history, we had some sociology, we had some, you know, literature, you know, whatever, you know, you molding all of this into the study of whoever you choose to study. So I'm studying our people, I'm studying other people, I'm learning all these things. So when I combine it with the film, it's like, it's powerful. That made me extra nasty with it, you know? So, I came out with that degree. Please, like I say, came over to the University of Memphis. So, now Dr. J for short, you know, Dr. Anwar Jamison. It's official. It's not one of them stage name doctors, you know what I mean? No disrespect to nobody out there. But it's not a stage name. It's real. And, I appreciate it, man, because that's just been me my whole life.
And I gotta say, you were actually the first PhD on the White Couch. That's why I had to bring it up so much. You know what I'm saying? It means a lot.
Up. Hey, I'm honored now. That's even more so.
No doubt. So of course you got to go ahead and let the people know all of your social media, as well as where they can check out your films, as well as the website one more time.
Okay, yeah, definitely. All my socials, just Anwar Jamison, my name at Anwar Jamison on Instagram and you know, Facebook, everywhere. Just find me by my name. Also the movies, everywhere except Netflix. I like to tell people, you know, Amazon, Tubi, Google Play, Apple TV. The good thing about Google now, you put the name of the movie in. I love how Google do that. It's going to run the whole list down so you can find them. But more importantly, you can find them soon on BKE TV. But we need those first 5,000 subscribers to make it go like it should go. So it's time to do something different, man. If you really believe in independence, a lot of people talk about supporting certain businesses and doing certain things. If you want to see somebody step out here and do something different and really see it, you know what I mean, and really know that for the price of a sandwich a month, that's what I'm telling people. I went to my partner's party last week. That's when it hit me, $20 for a 3-month subscription. That's $6 and some change. I go to the party. Right. I asked for a beer. That'll be $7. I'm like, dude, $7. This costs more than a month subscription to BKE TV. So
if you go to a Grizzlies game, I don't even think you can get anything for $7. Maybe a bottle of water, maybe.
Man, maybe, or just to the bathroom. Like that's all you could get is a trip to go to the bathroom at a Grizzlies game. But yeah, man, so I'm trying to do something different. You know what I mean? I'm trying to change the business model because honestly, I don't want to do it no more the other way. I don't even know if I will, straight up. Like if I can't have it like this right now, I think, you know, I'll kind of let it go. You know what I mean? And that's shout out to everybody. You know, everybody need to travel their own journey. But for me, I think I got to have it like this at this point, or I don't really want it.
Absolutely. Hey, I got to say thank you again for being a guest on the show. Like I say, it means a lot, man. You know, when you become even more successful, you don't have to come back. But the fact that you did, like I say, it means the world to me. Hey, we got to keep uplifting. I'm going to say it. That black, one of my favorite lines from the first film. Got to say that. But thank you, man.
Yeah, indeed, man. Thank you for having me back. It's good, man. It's Brink. When you on the brink of something big, who else can you come talk to?
I promise, man. We're talking about the highest point, the edge. Like, hey, you can only do better if you go with Brink. This is what we're doing. But again, I got to say thank you one more time. Now back to BrinkTV. Don't move.